There's a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Grimm.
Students and scholars, friends and relations, welcome to the Brothers Dim podcast, a delightful affair in which we look at the happy stories collected and published by the Brothers Grimm in the early 1800s in the seemingly quite whimsical, though treacherous land that we now call Germany. Including this week's tale, story number 84, Hans Married. My name is Phil.
And my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
Oh, I think I'm doing okay. It's been a time at work. How about yourself?
Okay. I'm good too. I had a question for you though.
Oh boy. I'm not ready.
Okay. Get
but
ready.
I'm never gonna be, so.
Okay. How long have you been married?
Oh shit. I didn't realize it was a quiz.
There is math involved, yes.
18 years.
18 years. Okay.
Yes.
Follow-up question then. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Follow-up question. When you first began courting Maureen, did you lie endlessly about yourself in order to get her to go out with you? Or did she do the majority of the lying in order to get you to go out with her?
To be completely honest, no pun intended, I don't think I did much, if any, lying. I think the whole thing was I just I was kind of a miserable waste of human, drinking and playing World of Warcraft and all sorts of garbage.
Yeah,
Tales of teenage dirtbaggery.
I vaguely remember I wasn't living with you guys at this point, but
Yeah. But you had the
but
bucket truck. I'm going to come visit every once in a while.
I feel like I was there constantly for like a good 6 months, which would have been not when you first started dating, but pretty
Right. No, you were firmly on scene routinely. But she, however, and she has owned up to this, she pretended to do a bunch of things that I was interested in.
Okay.
Just to sort of show that she was into the stuff that I was into, even though she totally wasn't, like watching baseball.
Okay.
She got me Bruins playoff tickets one year. She would listen to me talk about World of Warcraft.
Well, okay, so here's my thought. One of those sounds like one of them is just a nice present.
Yeah.
One of them is just like quite a few women just had to have their partner rocket information at them about some video game or another.
She also
not
tried
necessarily that she was feigning interest.
Yeah.
Or just proving that she could listen to something that you cared about.
Yeah.
Pretending to like baseball might have been a trick.
Yeah, that was a trick. She also she smoked for a little while, or at least like would smoke around us on occasion, which never went well.
Well, that too. That's just like, oh, well, I guess I'll have a cigarette with her. You know,
and you know her now. I don't know if you remember, but back then she would also drink PBR with us. Which, if you know her now, you find that pretty ridiculous.
That she would drink a PBR is not too surprising. Although she was never. Yeah, this is my jam. I love me a good PBR. She was always believe
not about the PBR lifestyle.
No, I got a good grasp of Maureen. The first time she said something about getting some vino. You and I and her could go out to some restaurant or it might have been a wine bar or something, and suggested we get vino and tapas, and I was like, okay, no, this is I get the vibe here, and I'm perfectly.
You're saying vino. I wonder if it was like Vino Verde, which is like a Portuguese mineral wine.
You know what? I have no idea. I remember though that was relatively early on, and I thought it was delightful, but I felt I got the vibe of Maureen pretty quick.
Also, I remember the one thing I do remember from that is you eating edamame, but you didn't know that you popped the soybeans out of it. You just put the whole husk in your mouth and chewed it up, and you thought it was strange. No, I was like, well, yeah, you're not supposed to eat that part.
No, I didn't eat the husk. But I do that I'll put the whole thing in my mouth, and then I pop them out kind of in my mouth. I don't think that was me anyways.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I remember you doing that. Maybe we misunderstood and we thought you were trying to eat the whole thing.
No, I usually, I just kind of, you can chew on the husk a little bit, and it's salty and good.
I know. I totally. All this time, it's been oh, Phil was so uncouth at one point story. And we had no idea.
I mean, certainly I'd gone to quite a few sushi bars at that point, but no, I like chewing on the husks. Yeah. It's like I said, it's salty and really good. It's really kind of grassy too. It's nice.
This is gonna blow her mind.
Okay, well, you go ahead and blow her mind. Then, anyways, we're talking about marriage and lying.
Have you lied to your wife before we move on?
Not really. I was pretty clear right when we first started dating that I'm friends with a bunch of my exes. So
Yep.
you're gonna have to welcome Shannon Baz Casper into your life. And who's stayed over at our house now. Before I was visited a couple of times and my wife finds absolutely delightful.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Mike, what grade would you give this particular tale?
Oh, I don't think you're going to like this. I give it a D minus. I specifically wrote D minus until someone can explain it to me
Yeah.
because I do not understand the end.
I might be able to swing you up to I got like C minus D.
Yeah.
I didn't like it much. And you're right. I couldn't make heads or tails at the end of it. And I had to read it like 4 times. It's only one paragraph, but I still couldn't follow. But I did notice it changes the story wildly depending on who says the final lines of the story, and they don't really make it clear.
I made an assumption.
As did I.
You're right.
But anyways, we'll see what your thoughts were. But that's all said. Mike, would you continue our deep dive into Hans's life? Take us through the plot of Grimm Story 84, Hans Married.
Oh, it'll be my pleasure. Once upon a time, there's a poor young man named Hans. I think we've read this one before.
Yeah.
He didn't have much, but he did have a conniving uncle who wanted to land him a rich wife for Hans.
Yeah.
Reasons unknown.
Well, you help out your nephew.
Yeah, I guess. One day, the uncle, he sits Hans down behind the stove, presses a quarter into his hand, and hands him a loaf of crappy bread and a glass of milk. He says, all right, stay right there. Don't let go of that quarter. And while I'm gone, crumble the bread into the milk while you wait. Don't move. I'll be right back. Got it? And Hans is like, okay. So the uncle heads out to the next village, finds like a middle-class daughter. He asks if she'll marry his nephew. He's honest and he's sensible. Her miserly father's there. And he's like, oh, well, how well-to-do is this nephew? Does he have bread to break? And the sly uncle answers that the nephew in question does have. He has a warm, snug place. He has some decent money in his hand. And he points to the patches on his pants and he says, oh, he's got patches more than I have. Jokingly, like, oh, yeah, he's got tracts of land. He has more tracts of land on the patches on my pants. It's a patch pun, which I'd love to know how it translates to in German, but that's another note for another time.
Yeah.
So he says, oh, I'll bring you back to meet him if you like. Father's impressed enough already. He says, all right, I bless this marriage, sight unseen. Let's do it. They make arrangements. Wedding gets planned shortly thereafter. Afterwards, the bride heads out. She wants to see her new husband's lands. So they're walking. Anytime they come to a stone wall or some other land divider, he slaps one of the patches on his shoddy old coat and says, this patch is mine. That one too. She thinks he's talking about the land, I think. He asks her if she was at the wedding. She says, yes, she was indeed. She was in full dress, but when the sun came out, it melted her headdress that was made of snow. Her coat was made of cobwebs, and it was caught and torn on a thorn patch, and her glass slippers broke upon a rock. The end. You can understand my confusion. However, I'm guessing, which way did you read that ending?
The way that you did. And
okay.
we can get it, but then I thought if it was the other way, it changes it a little bit, but we can get into that. There is shit all research on the web about this one anywhere.
There's nothing.
I understand why. Is just one joke over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, patches.
Do you have a moral for this tale?
I wrote, I have no moral as a bullet point. I also, another bullet point, what the actual fuck is that last paragraph?
For me, moral, I got a couple, I guess, but I assume lying about your station has worked for centuries when picking up chicks.
It's true. And continues to, apparently. Although we don't see what happens after this.
No, but we know that they're married, so that it worked to a degree, from a pickup artist sort of side. It got you what you wanted in that instance. But from the other side too, do your due diligence. Don't just believe a guy when he's talking up his nephew about, he's like, oh, I technically I wasn't lying because I made my nephew stand in the corner with a quarter. Very silly. Or I guess to be wary of wordplay like that. Yeah. Because it could be a trick. Do you remember? And I think it was Opie and Anthony.
Oh God, that's names I haven't heard in a long time.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Whip him out Wednesday.
Okay, so Opie and Anthony, for various listeners that may not know, were a pair of shock jocks that sort of came around post-Stern and were in the Boston area for a while. I think they might have been they went to New York afterwards, or they were there first or something.
Yeah, they were at PCN and then they moved on somewhere.
Yeah, so they kind of in the early Stern vein. One time they had a thing where they said the 1,000th caller to a contest was going to win $100,000. And then some guy finally is the caller, and he was very excited that he was going to be able to pay off his child support back payments or something. Finally see his kid. But no, they said, well, how are you going to do all that with a candy bar? And he was quite mad. And then there was another one about I think they gave away a Toyota.
Oh, I've heard that. I don't know if
It
it's
might not have been
attributed
Opie and Anthony, but
yeah, it was like a thing going around the internet. It was like some employer had a contest for his staff. Whoever got the most tips at the restaurant would win a new Toyota. And then the extended winner goes outside, and there in a parking space is
a toy
Yoda.
Yoda, as in the character Yoda from Star Wars.
They're in the parking space that Yoda is.
I think that girl sued. She sued and actually won the stupid car.
That does ring a bell, yeah. Do you imagine planning a prank that you think is funny and everybody else is going to think is funny? And then you get sued and have to buy someone a car?
Do they? I don't even know if they do anything like that. Are there still like shock jocks and the morning zoo crew? Birdie and the Bear, or Paul and Al or whatever doing pranks?
I don't know. I barely listen to radio anymore, but there was a long stretch when I was driving into Boston every morning, and I was listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub, which was like the new sports FM station in Boston that was like the cooler upstart to take over traffic from like the old cranky guys on WEEI.
Yeah.
And they're like, one of their flagship shows was Toucher and Rich in the morning. And they killed it. They killed it for a long time until I think they imploded. But yeah, they had they wouldn't do anything like that, but they definitely were edgy. They had a segment called Ask a Pink Hat where they'd send their intern out to interview drunk girls after Red Sox games. They'd be like, "Who's your favorite player?" And they're like, "Nomar Garcia Parra."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What position does he play?" And they're like, "Batter."
Nomar Garcia Parra. Anyways, shock jocks aside, miserly dad just gives away his daughter. Just some goobler that rolls through town, just in case too. This guy says his nephew is rich, and just also take a shot. This is my fourth daughter anyway, so
yeah, that is like, which daughter is it?
They don't say, but we can
That's
assume
it's not
it's not the heir, it's not the spare, it's someone way down the line. No input, of course, from the girl herself, who doesn't get any lines in the story except for one way at the end, which again I'm still not sure about, but again brings us back to the guy lying.
It is inscrutable.
Let's see. ATU A59 A and B, the penniless wooer and patches of land, is the ATU types on this one. I'm reminded of a couple things.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Okay. I was always amazed that people on OkCupid and the like would lie so much about themselves. I feel that happened a lot. Like I knew guys that would do that, and they'd be like, you got to lie in order to get a girl. And I'd say, yeah, but then the girl you get, this is why divorce rates are so high. The girl you get isn't going to necessarily be the one that like is good for you. It's just some girl. That's easy. If you just want some girl, that's easy. That's easy enough.
Not for everybody.
Not for everyone. It's still easy-ish. I mean, like you had plenty of girlfriends. Like you didn't have to lie about yourself.
True.
But you were just like, yeah, this is me. I'm grumpy and
yeah, pretty much.
And take it or leave it, ladies. And you found plenty that did. I guess do both. But I guess, yeah, it's dumb shit, I think. To all of our young listeners out there, there has to be at least one person that would be into your dumb shit. She's never going to find you if you put up the profile of this other person that you've made up. But there was also once a reality dating show it was called Joe Millionaire. I don't know if you remember.
Oh my God. I do remember that.
Yeah. Where the premise was 20 girls who all thought they were competing to marry a millionaire, but he was like just a regular guy. But then if the girl stayed with him after that was revealed, they would split $1 million. If when he revealed it on the show, she said, "I'll stay with you anyways."
Yeah.
Because at that point, they're kind of celebrities, so you can do their own. Convoluted and garbage TV of the highest order from the good folks at Fox. Now, those guys were doing it to themselves. I think Joe Millionaire and I guess the people on OkCupid. Hans doesn't seem to be in on this scam in this story.
No, like on a reread, it seemed like he actually has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he's just his uncle just like, "Hey boy, come here." Okay. I'm gonna go help my uncle do some cooking. And then he's like, "Hold this quarter and mix this bread and mix the stew." So it wasn't even Hans that was wooing the girl. Granted, it might be the case at the end. Again, I can't tell if the end is him genuinely talking about the patches on his coat, but the girl has been primed and groomed a bit to believe that patches he's referring to are patches of land.
Yeah, it's just very
she's
unclear.
He's unless I don't know. Even the line about I better take off my Sunday coat and put the ragged one on to not ruin my church clothes is
Right.
It reminded me too. I was thinking about this. Our dear friend Tyler once told me about a service you could get. So this is an early internet, early aughts, I think, service. But when we all lived together in Northampton, you could order fake bank ATM slips.
Wow.
I think the idea was you
Just
if you're at the
bar,
you buzz out of the bar and you're like, oh, let me just I got to move some stuff in my wallet around, and you put down you put the fake ATM slip that shows you as having $200,000 in your checking account or something, which seemed to make sense to me. I'd be like, wow, that would impress anyone except like only someone who's as poor as we are, because if you had 200 grand in a checking account, like, Christ, are you doing that?
yeah.
But hell, at a certain age, just even me just having a car put me into a tier above some other people sometimes, and having a bank slip with that much money.
It's all relative.
This is all. There's a lot we're talking about that's not this story, because they're really the story's not very long. B, there's not a lot out there about the story. But should we talk about the end then?
Yeah.
Okay. He's wandering and doing the patches thing. That patch is mine. This one is mine. And pointing to his smock while she's looking at land. And she gets her one line, right? Which is, were you indeed at the wedding? And he says, yes, my headdress was snow, which melted, coat was made of cobwebs, which got ripped off. Like the cobwebs is weird anyways, because I guess, I don't know if that was like a play on silk, mostly, or old wealth.
Yeah.
When he says he has some glass shoes which broke, and then we're at the end of it. Like I said, unless I'm reading that wrong. And what if it's backwards?
So I read it that was, she said that. He asked if she was at the wedding, and that's what she replied with.
Oh, okay. I originally read it that first way. So you read it that way. So, okay. Then in this case, I'm wondering, maybe Hans was duped. So what if Hans is going on about the patches and he's the one who's, were you indeed at the wedding? And she says, and effectively is saying, yeah, but I'm not rich either. All of this shit that I was wearing, the headdress or whatever it is, which was made of snow, and it wasn't a silk dress. It was made of cobwebs, which have now been torn off. And she's been lying. He's realized, wait a minute, she's just as poor as me. And then, is this even the same girl that my uncle went and found? Or did the miserly father do a little investigating? He's like, oh, this guy being rich is bullshit. You know what? Send one of the scullery girls. Give her some fake stuff to wear. Not the silk dress. No, cobwebs, because she's garbage. And then glass shoes, which is traditionally something a woman wears. No, originally I thought she said, were you there? And I had no idea what anyone was talking about. And he's like, and he was saying, yeah, I was there. Headdress. I don't know. It was such a weird ending, and it was so disparate and confusing. They don't say who said what, and it's just this weird. One of them, they've just gotten married, and one of them says, were you indeed at the wedding? And the other one says, yeah, but everything I wore was fake. Yeah,
which makes me wonder. So if it's him asking, were you at the wedding? Like, is he aware he just got married?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
Did the uncle
was just like, well, that was a fun day at church.
Yeah. That's the problem when everything's in Latin. If you show up,
oops, all married. One thing that's unclear is exactly what this girl's class or status is, because she's referred to as rich peasant.
Yeah.
And I cast it as middle class in my retelling, but just because I don't really know what a rich peasant is. I'm guessing it was like richer than they are, but still poor.
Yeah. Like owns their own house, maybe owns a patch of land. They're upper, lower something, or anyways, do you have any other notes?
It's just weird. No, I don't. Do you have a pitch?
Yeah, I got a little one if you want to.
It's a little story.
Yeah, no, okay, all right. So
Pulp Fiction prequel.
If she was poor, you can do one thing, then that might lead into just another fun bit. But it's like a short story about two con artists who keep trying to con each other because each of them thinks that the other one is rich, kind of as part of their own con. But then both of them find out that the other one's been lying, but it turns out that they quite love each other, and they try to make that work.
Yeah.
And then for fun, Here's swinging into Hollywood, right? And as I'm doing a little mic trick here, but so at one point they go out and get breakfast, and they figure it would be easier to just rob a diner than pull some elaborate con on someone. And after that, you can kind of do one of two things. One, if it's a short story, they both get shot down and killed. Or you could have that be the story of Pumpkin and Honey Bunny, who you may remember from the open and closing scene of the film Pulp Fiction.
That's amazing because we showed that to Elliot Saturday night.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Wow. How old was he?
Well, it was
Okay. You know what? Yeah. No, that.
You're
yeah,
you're going to hear a lot of language.
No, I'm totally fine. 12. I forgot that he is 12.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They're pushing 13.
Oh my good God.
I've fallen into a habit of showing them much raunchier things than I should. We watched like 6 seasons of Archer, and every episode I'm like, we should not be watching this.
All right, yeah, I've we padded this one out a little bit. Wow,
Yeah,
with stories of Opie and Anthony and everything else. Well, if you don't have anything else, and I don't have anything else, I think we can call it on Grimm story number 84, Hans Married. Until the next time in the next tale, may you dream sweet dreams of today's sponsor, lying about yourself to get dates. Yes, it's not just for website dating. Apparently, people have been pulling this shit since antiquity. And remember, loyal listeners, once you're legally married, it's a lot harder to get out of the relationship. So make sure that person doesn't find out you've been lying until after the wedding. Sleep tight, and we will see you next time.
See you next time. The Brothers Dim podcast is written by the Brothers Dim. Recording engineering is done by Mike, and sound editing and mastering by Phil. Brothers Dim podcasts are copyrighted by the Brothers Dim and available at brothersdim.com, on Blue Sky at Brothers Dim, and wherever you get your podcasts.